Welcome back, everybody. This is the third video in the series of the wonderful world of dragon boobs. Um, I tried recording this earlier, and apparently you have to actually set audio on to be able to record that. Go figure. So I wanted to share this war because we had a lot of witch slaps, and really, as you can see, we got 45 stars, and witch slaps really won the war. I just really wanted to point out there's a lot of important elements of the witch slap that I think just are really clearly identified. I think we'll start off with a couple of these attacks, and I can kind of show some of the base things, but there's some really minute details in this that I think really you can come away with and really learn the keys and the important parts of witch slap. So here you can see one of the things, and I think in one of the other videos I pointed out, I always look for the air defenses and where they're located. And so you can see in this attack, the border of this air defense, for example, is not going to be ever in danger of taking out our healers, and the healers are key. So you can see this particular air defense is actually on the outside border, and so that would be something I would normally be afraid of, but because I can see that our witches are going to track up the southwest side of this base, and the witches, assuming that my kill squad and troops that are going up the middle don't take it out, those witches are going to be able to get to that air defense and keep our healers safe, which obviously that's key in a witch slap. So and you can see the rest of this attack is going pretty smooth. It's really, key though when I'm scouting these bases that I look for where those air defenses are. Now, we've got some cases where it doesn't even matter, and that's nice too. And it's just, it's such an overpowered attack, but I really wanted to point out the fact that the first thing I look for on a base is where those air defenses are. I almost hate to say this because it's almost like cheating when I get to a base and it's got the air defenses on the inside, and I get it. You've got all the other easy attacks that everybody's using. You got, lava loon you got to protect for. So you try to defend against that, and then you're, left wide open for the slap here. But anyways, slap wins the war. You can see, this Expo could have been a problem, but we've just got so many troops. We've got a couple of healers left, three of our four healers are still left. We got tons of troops. Our queen hadn't popped her ability, just too easy, and a lot of times that's going to be the case. Now, that being said, we've got a couple other attacks in here. We got another attack by Zuki. Again, I don't want to watch the whole thing, but I do want to point out a couple key elements here. So we've got our expos, and again, we're going to start from the north and the east corners. And you can see something else that I try to do in my attacks. Again, it's all about the healers. And you can see I want the healers as far on the outside as possible. I want them to avoid going in and being taken out by, well, I don't have to worry about that, but I don't want to worry about them getting taken out by any of the defenses. It's really a key, your healers keep everything else alive. And the key to this attack is just really having everything stay alive. So again, key here, drop your spells. You got to take out the CC troops. Basically, at this point, I'll use both poisons and my heal and my rage, because I want to, there's a couple keys. You want to keep the healers, but you got to take out the CC and the other clan CC. And you can see here, we've got a lot of troops left. We do have to worry about this Expo But you can see our queen's still alive. We've got bowlers still kicking, and either of those is going to have range to be able to get to that expo, which generally you want to save your jump spells to be able to get to the expo. But again, because I was able to keep the queen alive, the queen's able to get to the center here, take out that expo. As soon as that expo is down, you see everything else just starts to melt around the outside. So now it's just a matter of time. Everything's working around the edge. I think, you know, we're finally going to see some of our healers get taken out, which it's always a sad day for our lovely ladies to go down. We never want to see that, but it's a fact of life. So here we've got, again, queen at full health. She's got healers on her. Lots of witches. Plenty of troops left. And nothing else to see here. This is just a complete wipeout. So I just wanted to really quickly show that one because, again, the expo is something that's really important. You got to make sure you take that out. And so that's second expo in that scenario. Again, scouting is key. we really were able to use this in, use the slap in all these attacks, with the exception of the number 1 base. But this one is actually James, our number 1 base. This is against an engineered base that attacked both our 1 and 2, and luckily wasn't able to take out our number 1 base, which is why we were able to win this war. Now, again, on this particular attack, you can see up here the healers are getting dropped on the outside, so they are going to track up the outside. We have to avoid those air defenses. And again, we drop in all of our troops, our kill squad, the golem's soaking up the punishment. We get our jump spell in, and as soon as we get our jump spell in, we're going to have all the rest of our spells get dropped so that we can take out those clan capsule troops. And again, that is one of the keys of the attack. To me, that's definitely much more important than getting the queen. You can see that queen's still alive, and I don't usually even worry about where the queen is. I might take it into consideration when I'm deciding which angle to go in, but for the most part, you're going to have so much damage with your kill squad and everything that's going into the core of the base, you're really not going to have to worry about it. So you can see, again, all our healers are alive. We're going around the outside. We've got lots of bowlers still alive. We got our queen still alive. And everything, whole core is just destroyed. And so I was a little worried about this corner with the 3 wizard towers and the air defense. And you can see that air defense is doing damage on our healers, but yeah, actually they go down, but you can see the queen's still full health, hasn't even popped her ability. It's just another easy attack. Now, granted, this is our number 1 on our number 4, on their number 4, but regardless, the witch slap just dominating another attack, and you can see we've got so many troops left here. There's just nothing this guy can do. Just a really. It was a pretty easy attack, but just to show another example. And again, placement of healers is key. So here is an attack that I really wanted to focus on, because this teaches us, to me, what is an extremely valuable lesson when dealing with the witch slap. So I really want everybody to focus on this particular attack. Now, Welly has just started learning how to master the witch slap. And since he has, his war attacks he's been getting 3 stars nonstop. And in fact, tonight he's asking, can we start a war? He is really, he's ready to do some damage. So, okay, this is the part of the attack that I actually wanted to focus on now. So you can see, we've got our witches that have cleared out the outside, which that is good. And one of the things that Welly, I think, used to jump the gun on a little bit is he would put the troops down the center a little bit too early and not let the witches kind of clear out the outside. And so he was having a little problem with his funneling. he has gotten that problem solved now, and funneling is not an issue. This particular attack, and I didn't point this out when we started, but this attack started at exactly 3 minutes. He finishes this attack with like 0.1 seconds left in the attack. And this is why. So he has dropped his golem here, and you can see he has dropped witches to clear out these different mines. But he's got his king, queen, and his bowlers in the CC. And wait till you see, watch to see how long it takes before he drops those. So these defenses are just sitting here. They're not going down. And while they're not going down, time's just ticking. And so the attack is working, and there's nothing wrong with this approach if he had endless amount of time. But he waited about 20 or 30 seconds from the time that he had his funnel ready before he dropped his kill squad. And so he is just now getting into the base, and again, he drops his spells and is taking out the clan caster troops as he should. But you can see, he's barely a third of the way into the base, and there's less than 2 minutes left. There is a lot of base left to take out, and there's not a lot of time left. So basically, again, I already spoiled the fact that he's going to 3-star this, but it is so close. He's going to hit this last hut at the top with, like, again, 0.1 seconds left in the attack. Now, outside of the timing on the kill squad, this attack was great. Perfect. He's done everything right, but it's just something to make note of. It's not just placement. It's also important to get that timing down. These defenses, it took him so long to get through there that it really almost cost him. And so now it's just a matter of cleanup. You've got your witch still alive, or your queen still alive. She's going to come down here. She's actually going to get the healers to jump on her, which is good. It's what you want. And again, he's got tons of troops left. Definitely not a problem there, but that 0 seconds, that's really what it looked like in the war clock too. I mean, he finished that attack with nothing to spare. So now I'm actually going to show Welly's second attack, which he takes out the number 2, which was actually really huge for us. He attacked up 1, which is great. But he takes out the number 2, and to me, this is a much better attack. He drops his queens, I keep saying queens. He drops his witches, and you'll see on the western corner, he's going to put his healers down on the very far outside, and that's going to keep them safe. Now, his healers on the... now, I will say that he probably should have had some troops for these objects here. I would normally take wizards myself, and it would have cleared that out, and it would have allowed the witches on the eastern edge to track down. So that could have been a problem. He could have got hung up there, but the witches on the southwestern corner are just perfectly placed, and his timing and his placement of his kill squad and his spells, very well done here. He's going to have a lot left over. He drops his second jump spell there. He's still got a heal spell. I probably would have used my heal spell by now, but you can't argue with success. So great job with that timing. He's got, you can see, just a ton of troops left. The queen hasn't even popped her ability yet. She's full health. Everything's doing damage. Now you can see this corner. This is what I'm talking about. Because those queens came in a little, or those witches came in a little early, that air defense did some damage, and you can see he's going to lose that healer here in a second. And so that could have been dangerous had the rest of the attack not gone so perfectly. And so you could see there, his queen is a level 11. And so I see this a lot on a lot of other videos that I've watched on the SOP. and they talk about the fact that the queen's got to be a certain level, and she's got to be, high level for this attack to really work. This is their number 2 base, and it was a pretty high level base. The walls really weren't leveled up yet, but I think if I remember right, his queen and queen were pretty high. I guess I'd have to double check, but I think they were in the 20s or something as well. But just no problem. I mean, this attack is just so dominant. Look at how many troops he's got left. It's just a complete wash. He just destroyed that base. So James's so the war really came down to 2 final attacks. And so this base, this isn't a witch slap, and I'm probably not going to go into it and let it play all the way through, but I just wanted to, this base was a little complicated, except this guy left a spot down here, which you can see is why James was able to drop a giant to draw the CC. He had a space open, so he had a fully maxed Town Hall 9. You can see he's got level 30 heroes. I mean, he's fully maxed. And for some reason, he left a little space for the pull of the CC troops. And so you can see he easily takes those out, and it's really easy. He drops his troops on the side, and is able to really not lose anything. And then he's really simply able to drop in his king and bowlers, healers, and he's got a golem here tanking everything, and easily just takes out the queen, which this corner would have been a little scary. I think had the CC troops still been here, couldn't have been as brazen as he was, but because of having this little hole, and now look at the step here, he literally drops a golem in, drops the jump. I think there were 4 Valks in the CC, and he had a couple bowlers, and just unfair. I mean, what was this guy thinking? I just had to show it. It was just kind of funny because at first it looked like a really difficult base because of the layout, and again, had the CC been more difficult to pull, this corner up here where his queen was, really I think could have been difficult. But either way, pretty simple attack afterwards. James is now just Town Hall 9.5, not even. It just leveled up. So he just got his, you can see his bowlers were level 1, but still, very easy attack. Now, this is the attack that won the war. Their number 1 attacking James was the attack that won the war, and I'm going to show this because this actually was a slap, and it's a really good example of what not to do. So he starts the attack here, and this to me is what I feel without question is what cost him the attack. So let's look at this. So he's dropped his witches down, and he's taken out the sides here to create the funnel. But the funnel's not created yet. Before the funnel's even started, we're looking at 11 seconds into this attack, and he starts taking out these northern buildings. He's already coming down and trying to take the funnel. The funnel's not there yet. You've got to give the witches on the outside some time to develop that funnel. So what's going to end up happening, and we'll kick this back off, is you'll see his troops come out, and he comes down what should be the funnel. He drops a jump spell here, which is nice. And again, this would not have been a bad move had he just waited like 10 seconds. But again, you can see his troops. They're all looking over here. There's no funnel, so they're all looking over here on this side. They've got to take out those defenses because the funnel didn't get to the opportunity to do so. So what you end up seeing is you will see a bowler on each side take off around the outside, and that means he doesn't have enough troops in the middle to really take out the base. Now he does, and again, this is a leveled up Expo, so it's doing a little bit more damage. But had he done this right, I have no doubt that one extra defense, and I guess those are the 2 leveled up defenses that James had. I have no doubt in my mind that he would have easily won this attack had he just let that funnel develop. And it's difficult. You feel like you want to get this thing rolling, and and I understand it, because the witches can really seem to, we're still sitting on 1.5 minutes, and there's not that much base left. But they take a long time, and had he had more troops in the center of the base, his queen would have had a lot more health left. The queen wouldn't have been alone, and she would have had some help in the center. His queen was able to take out James's king and queen, which is great, but she's dead now. And so now the only troops that he has left are his witches. And the witches are great, but they don't do fast damage. They're going to take everything out, but it takes a little bit of time, especially when the troops are a little bit further in. And you can see, especially like one of the things that you got to worry about is anything that's doing damage to the witches on the inside. Those skeletons aren't going to be able to do anything. It's going to take those witches a long time. Now you can see down here on the southwest corner, the skeletons actually pop through, which is what you want. But again, he's just gonna flat out run out of time. Now he really ends up with only one witch left anyways, so I mean, he would have needed a ton more time. But it's funny that the reason he lost this attack was because he ran out of time, and he ran out of time because he attacked too early. So really important lesson, and really counterintuitive. I mean, 3%. He was so close. He almost had this base. He's got, this is all he's got left. And again, it's because he didn't let the funnel, which is, I mean, it's something you learn in like Town Hall 5, that you have to use a funnel when you're attacking. And that funnel's got to develop. So anyways, really interesting series of attacks. The whole war completely hinged on the witch slap this time. So I really wanted to, I didn't think I was going to make any more videos, but this was just so perfect. It's such a perfect example of what the witch slap can do. Showed some the important keys to look for. It also points out some of the, to me, it's really hard to not do the witch slap right. But we saw in that last attack, one of the things you can do wrong. We saw in Welly's first attack, he got extremely close, and again, it was because he took a little too long on dropping his kill squad. So he kind of had the opposite problem that we saw over here from Johan. Johan went a little too soon, and Welly actually went a little too late. So now, again, the difference is Welly 3-starred, so Welly's did manage to work for him. He had a ton of troops left, if you'll remember, at the end of that war. But again, by not dropping his kill squad earlier on that corner, he just about cost that extra 3-star, the extra 3-star. And you can see we needed it. We had to have all 45 stars this war. So anyways, hope you enjoyed it, and maybe we'll have another one. My cat is now freaking out, so I'm going to let you go. Thank you.